Welcome to the Ben Buzz. I'm Benny King, and my guest this week is a good friend and amateur hooper, Rylee.
Hello, what is up?
What is up? And we're going to be getting into a lot of NBA basketball today, and it's going to be the second installment in my sports section of my channel, but it's going to be the first one where I really dive into basketball. Are you excited, Rylee?
I'm very excited.
First off, give a huge shout out to Levi and Arthur for joining us on the podcast last week. You'll see that on Sunday. You probably won't see this one until Wednesday. So we're very excited for that. And once again, thank you to Jack for making the thumbnail of this video and the video screen and the channel logo, and just everyone that pitches in and everyone that's been a guest on this podcast. We really appreciate it. And like I said, you won't see this until Wednesday, but our good friend and Pastor Bob will be having his retirement. So huge shout out to Bob. Really appreciate everything that you've done for all the people in the community, and we really couldn't have gotten to a place where in our faith and just as people without you. So we really appreciate you.
Yep, I also want to thank Bob for everything that he's done. He's a good guy, and shout out to him as well.
Right, 100%. So now that we got that out of the way, let's really dive into this. And I've really been excited for this NBA episode because we were really following the playoffs last year, and it was one of the best playoffs that I've really seen in a while. And I mean, for me at least, it went back to like Cavaliers Warriors and like those years where it really felt so awesome. And did you agree? Because I mean, it was just so spectacular to me.
Well, I think it wasn't too awful. I mean, the playoffs, not too bad,
right?
But the Cavs, they got Mitchell, not too bad, and Strus,
right?
I feel like they could do a lot better, and they can work on their playmaking, because usually in the season they're doing really well, but then when they come to the playoffs, they're kind of like shut down. So I think they got stuff to work on. But
I agree.
Not too bad of a team, but same with the Pacers. They lost Halliburton. We won't see him until 26, 27, sometime around there.
Yeah.
Tyrese did good for himself. I think so. And
I agree.
He also got engaged. I just want to congratulate him on that.
That was really great news.
But
I think he really needed that in his life too.
I agree. Yeah.
And I really agree about the Cavs take, because I mean, obviously they've kind of been in the playoffs, and they always seem to have the first seed or like very high, but then when it comes to playoff time, they just kind of seem to fall apart. This one didn't feel like it was their fault as much, where the Pacers just went on a tear. I mean, they just got unlucky catching like one of the hottest teams, probably top two, up there with the Thunder at the time. Like literally the top two hottest teams, and they caught them in like their first, after they sweeped, right? And they caught them as a fifth seed. Like, with how good the Pacers were in the playoffs, you'd think they were at least a 2 seed, or so like the fact that they had the number 1 seed and they had that sweep, that's just a tough draw for them with how hot that Pacer team was. And then obviously the dagger of that 3 really set it back, because had the Cavs won that one, you think maybe the Cavs have a chance at that series, where the Pacers, that's what was so special about them, because they were really great in the playoffs. And I think they've had a couple great years like that, where last year we saw them in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. And I feel like they've been growing and improving, especially with Siakam and Halliburton and like Nesmith and Nembhard. And I feel like you could name like 10 more guys that really showed out. I mean, even Mathurin had like a 27-point game in the finals, where I think not only were they so great and won the games that they had to usually, right, but the way that they would just steal games from you, I think it really just took the air out of a lot of teams. And I think that's really what happened to the Knicks overall, where, I mean, you saw that game 1 against the Knicks, ridiculous. How on earth did the Pacers pull that off? And then the way they responded in the second game, you could just tell the Knicks were just not there. You could tell that it just sucked the soul, just sucked the air out of the building for them. And like that second game, the Pacers ran away with it, and all of a sudden they're up 2-0 when they really shouldn't be. And I think that's what really propelled them, and I think that's really what shut down a lot of teams in their path.
Well, I think when the Pacers were in the playoffs, I think everyone noticed this. When they were going against these pretty good teams, they were down quite a bit, but then usually sometime in the third, going into the fourth quarter, they would come back and win those games.
Right.
And, go back to, I'm not sure which game it was, but when Tyrese hit that tie game 2 against the Knicks. Everyone thought it was a 3. Everyone thought, I thought it was a 3 myself, but that was a very clutch shot by Tyrese.
Right.
But I think he is improving on his clutch shots, and maybe he might be well known for that.
Right. Yeah, I agree, and that's why it's so unfortunate what ended up happening to him, because that whole series with the Thunder was kind of up and down, where he had some really great stretches, and then he had some games where he only had 4 points or he hardly played, and he had a really big problem with injuries before it all went down, where I think there was another issue even in that series before the calf injury even happened, and I think that really just sucked it out. And then when they came back to win Game 6 at home, and they were going on the road against that Thunder team, hey, all credit to them, because we can discredit them. We could say, oh, if Halliburton didn't get hurt, whatever it is, the Thunder deserved to win it, and it's unfortunate that we didn't see Halliburton complete that game. But I mean, at the end of the day, they do deserve it. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, it's just unfortunate that it happened, is what I'm trying to say. But I mean. And Halliburton really looked like he was going to have a great game, too. I mean, 9 points in 7 minutes, especially for a guy like Halliburton that seems to, pass first. I mean, in a couple of games before that, he only had 4 points overall, So I really feel like, had he stayed in that game, would they have won? I don't know, but it would have really capped off the finals way better for me, where it really just kind of sucked it out, where, I ended up feeling weird afterwards because, my brother's a big Thunder fan, so I was kind of rooting for the Thunder, but then I'm also from Indiana, so I was kind of pulling for the Pacers too. And I just wanted a great game, and I just wanted both teams to feel like they really left it all on the line and really felt like they did everything they could. And that's why it just kind of really sucked that it ended that way, because the Pacers, I mean, the fact that they were there was ridiculous. I mean, they were underdogs, and I think they were technically ranked above the Bucks when they played them. But, Giannis, you never, to get through Giannis, to get through the one-seeded Cavs and Mitchell, right? And then to get to that New York Knicks in that finals and all the, what am I thinking? Oh, flashbacks of Reggie Miller against the Knicks and how that's a great rivalry. And it's nice that we're really bringing that one back, where we had them play last year, then we had them play this year. And, Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, they all played really well. Because it really wasn't their fault. It's nobody comes down from 17 under 2 minutes. That's just so ridiculous. I feel like if they win that game like they should have, then they don't perform so poor the next game. Then you think maybe all of a sudden the Knicks are up 2-0. And that's what the Cavs or the Pacers really did, is that if they can grab that one early and really suck the soul out of you, and that can really knock you down, where I felt like that's how the Thunder really responded better. Because when they had that devastating first game loss that they shouldn't have had against the Pacers, which it feels like it's recurring. I mean, every series it's man, we shouldn't have won that. Man, we should have. And even though that's just one game, it feels like it ends up stacking, and then it bleeds into other games like it did with the Knicks, which I really got to give credit to the Thunder, because the way they stepped up in that second game and the way they said, no, we're not letting this happen again, I thought that was very inspiring, because we saw the Knicks just pretty much folded in that next game, and to see the Thunder respond like that, you could definitely tell that they were watching film and they're like, we need to punch them in the mouth, and we need to really, really put them away, because it felt like they could come back from just about anything at that point.
Well, I mean, the Pacers had a good run, in my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. I've been hearing people saying, if the Pacers didn't lose Tyrese Halliburton, maybe the Pacers had a chance to win Game 7. I'm still upset that Tyrese had an injury and couldn't finish the game. Mm-hmm. So far, what I've heard, he's doing good in recovery. That's really good. Praying for him, of course.
Right.
And then, he's a good player. I might despise the Thunder, but, the Thunder got what they deserved. They got the win. They got their championship. Not really a big Thunder fan, but congratulations to the Thunder. But I think the Pacers still deserved, the win, if I'm being honest here, because, well, I've been seeing, some highlights of, the Thunder.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Been trying to get some details or information here, and I've been seeing quite a bit of flopping from SGA. And I think in my personal opinion, that's how they won their championship.
Well, let's not go that far.
Well, that's just my personal opinion because, well, it's like...
You can't discredit everything they did that year, though.
Well...
Because whether you say that SGA deserved that MVP or not, the fact that he was in the running, like, if you look at his stats, he still did incredible.
Yeah, I guess.
Go back to that third quarter in that first game, that buzzer beater he hit way downtown. Like, he's a very skillful guy. And I feel like the way he moves, that's why they call him Shea Butter in the paint, the way he can slide around.
Well,
Where I know the flopping, I know it can feel ridiculous at times, but I mean, you can't discredit that good of a player because the way like he shifts around.
If I'm being honest, like, I don't know. I mean, it's just the flopping for me that honestly gets me a little upset because, you know, sometimes I would even go back and watch the play again, and when there's no contact, these referees say there's a foul, but when there's no foul, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So, I mean...
I think the finals was called pretty fairly, though. Because a lot of the times the Thunder just came out and blew the doors off the Pacers, right? And, like, the ones that the Thunder mainly won, I remember they stole... I think it was Game 3 that the Thunder kind of stole in the fourth quarter, but, like, a lot of times the Thunder, like, straight up blew the doors off of them and were winning by 20 and then just ended up closing out the game, where the stuff with Shea didn't really end up affecting the game.
I still feel like if the Pacers didn't lose Tyrese Halliburton with an injury, I think the Pacers could have won their first championship. But not only that, the Pacers were in the finals for the first time about 20, 25 years. And that's impressive. So they weren't in the finals since, I'm pretty sure it was Reggie Miller, I believe. And that was a long time. So, I mean, I'm still impressed that, and I'm still happy that the Pacers were in the finals after this long.
Right.
So, I mean, the Pacers, they got good players. They got, I think, a pretty good head coach.
Right.
I think the Pacers are doing pretty good. I don't know about this coming next season, but...
I think that's what's sad about it, is that this felt like it was, like, their big shot, where it felt like everything went their way, like, all, like, the luck shots, where, like, Halliburton, like, no one's been that lucky. And especially in one postseason is just such an anomaly. And so the fact that happened over and over and over, and then when they were on the last hill, or like the last, like it's like a 100-meter dash, and like the last few steps, and then his Achilles just, it's just really unfortunate. But I don't think you can discredit what the Thunder did, or discredit what they had done all year. Because what was it, like 68 regular season wins? Ridiculous. And then, I mean, if you look in their playoffs, their playoff road was actually pretty hard. Because, I mean, they had Ja Morant in the first round, which they're the first seed, so, you get the easiest draw, right? That's how it works. But, I mean, sweep them, no problem. And then you go in with the Nuggets, and, I mean, that was a really tough series for them. They barely gutted it out in 7 games. Had they not had the higher seed and had that extra home court advantage, could they have won? I don't know, but they did deserve that from what they did in the regular season. I mean, that series against the Nuggets was just such a dogfight. And I think that was the big moment where it was just like, if the Thunder can get around the Nuggets, then they could really win this thing, right? And once they did that, it was like, oh my gosh, like they could really, do this. And then they had the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves were so hot. They took out the Lakers in the first round. They took out Curry and the Warriors in the second round. It's like they were really flying. And then the Thunder just shut them down, like pretty easily, like won the first 2, and then the Timberwolves had to have it Game 3, right? But then after that, like the Thunder ended up having a tough one, but in Game 4, but they closed it out, and then closed out the series in a gentleman's sweep. Like, I mean, even though like the Pacers and like everything they did was like so ridiculous, I feel like we can't discredit what the Thunder did, because it still was an incredible season. And to get out of the West, especially in this day and age, is ridiculous. Especially this next year, I felt like this year the East, like it was more balanced. Maybe a little more towards the West, but I thought it was pretty balanced. But, like, this next year it's really going to be in the West favor, which we'll get to later. But, I mean, the Thunder, they're still a really good team. Shea's really good. And even though the flopping can get, annoying sometimes, I feel like a lot of times it doesn't have as big as an effect as people make it out to be. Especially in the finals, the officiating was actually pretty good. And there were a lot of stuff that was going both ways, where, like, there was a couple times where like a Pacers guy who, like, I remember when Caruso was going up and just straight up slapped his arms and, like, they didn't get a flagrant. It was just, like, a technical or whatever it was. But, I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on. People ended up blaming Scott Foster, but, like, at the end of the day, there were still plays where they could have won it outside of officiating. I hate to blame officials because it feels like a cop-out. And even when in situations where it kind of feels like the officials were kind of, like, involved, like, there's still so many other factors where it's like if you're going to blame the officials, there's usually a ton of other stuff going on that you could have, because if you're in that situation, you can't be blaming the officials. You just need to take the responsibility at that point. So, I mean, it sucks that that happens sometimes, and it does suck that Hallie went out, but I do think that the Thunder deserved it, and I think they certainly did enough on the way to get there to deserve being in that game, or in that series. And, I mean, I'm really optimistic about the Thunder going forward.
Well, I mean, once again, congratulations to the Thunder, but I still feel like the Pacers deserved their win. But, I think, Tyrese will have a lot of, comebacks, and I think when he comes back in the 26-27, maybe 27-28 season, he will come back stronger than ever.
I agree.
But for the next season, Pacers really had to lock in without Tyrese. Maybe they'll do well. I think they'll still do somewhat decent. Right. I'm not sure if they're going to do any better without Tyrese, but maybe if Tyrese, comes to the home games or something like that, I think that'll give the team's boost of confidence just, after, losing to the Thunder in the finals. Yeah. I think that'll give them a huge morality boost, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. It's just unfortunate that we won't be seeing him play in a while. And, I mean, we talk about, like, their title window where it's like, it did feel like this was the one chance. And they could end up down the road. And it would probably be the earliest is 2027 to win it with Hallie, right? And I think it's just such a blow to lose Miles Turner, too, because he was the heart of that team. I mean, he spent a decade in Indiana. So the fact that they didn't rush to re-sign him is kind of a little upsetting. But, all in all, it was a really great playoff. And even though it was unfortunate that Halliburton couldn't finish the job, it was unfortunate, but you could kind of see it coming, unfortunately, with the calf injury, because that's kind of like, that's how we saw Kevin Durant tear his Achilles. And those types of Achilles injuries, those are just the worst. And it's really sucked that we saw so many, especially in the playoffs, because those are like the best of the best. Like, this is where it really just kills basketball, and I hate when that happens. And I don't know if there's a problem with the shoes or the courts, or maybe we just need to be sitting players or like something with these calf injuries, but like this can't keep happening because it's honestly really upsetting. And every time it happens, like, we're still thinking about that night, that Halliburton, and the what if of like, what if he played? And like, we got to figure out a solution because these calf strains and these Achilles tears need to stop because it's killing the game and killed the playoffs.
I agree. There was, Damian Lillard, he suffered an injury, and then there was Jason Tatum, he suffered from an injury.
Right.
But I heard Jason Tatum is doing good with recovery as well.
Yeah,
so
that bodes confidence.
Yeah, that's good. So hopefully, that's good. I mean, these ACL injuries are honestly terrible. It brings down the fans, I think, because the fans have huge hearts to their home team, of course, but also their star player, Tyrese Halliburton, of course.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a shame. So I think maybe the teams maybe should, do some more investigating on what's happening.
100%.
And maybe they should do more stretches more, because maybe that could be it. I don't know.
There's got to be a solution.
But there's got to... Yeah, I agree. There's got to be a solution to that. I agree.
I agree. And I get why you hold that grudge against the Thunder, and even though it's hard to swallow, and it's hard to be like, yeah, they deserved it, because especially when you're here and you experienced how the city and how the state just really rallied around them, and how, like, everyone, like, in the hallways and, like, was, like, really going, yeah, go Pacers. Like, it was, like, a huge thing, and you could really feel that. and you could really feel everyone coming alive. I mean, they were showing like videos of downtown Indianapolis. Everyone's got their Pacer gear on. Everyone was like really fired up. They had the Pat McAfee show out there, and he really hyped up the crowd. And he's been really great for the city. Because not only as when he played for the Colts, but his show and the way that he keeps coming back here. And I mean, that was really hype when all that was going down. And I mean, it sucks that they didn't make it, but what I'm hoping is that the fans will still rally around them just the same in their darker times, because and it's awesome, but I hate like to be a bandwagon too, where it's like I hope that when the Pacers, if they don't do as good this year, because I don't think they're going to be in the finals, they might sneak into a playoff spot. It's probably going to be a play-in situation maybe, whatever it may be, but I'm hoping that the fans and everyone still rallies around them the same and doesn't just expect winning, because I mean that always sucks when like you see like a team all of a sudden get good and then you see everyone rally around them and then everyone abandons them in their darkest time. So I'm hoping that we continue to rally around this team, and I'm really excited for the future, but it's just unfortunate that they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they had one good of a run,
right?
And hopefully when Tyrese comes back, the Pacers will come back stronger. I know that they will, but there's a lot of possibilities for a lot of these teams. Yeah, but I think when Tyrese comes back, the Pacers will have a stronger, the Pacers will just come back stronger.
Right, I agree. And as we're looking at it now, I mean, the Thunder really ran away with that. And now going into this next year, where the East has kind of really fallen off, not really to their own fault, but or lack of talent, just, the obstruction of talent with those Achilles injuries, unfortunately, where, I mean, you start to look at it, and I feel like the door's really open for the West to repeat. And, I mean, out of that West, I mean, I feel like it's possible the Thunder repeat. Do you think that the Thunder run it back next year, and do you think that this kicks off a dynasty for them?
I don't think so. I think, well, you said you think the Thunder might be able to. And
right.
Here's why you think that is. Because, the Thunder have a lot of young players.
Right.
And, they say, the younger, they have more energy, they have more this and that. But I feel like the Thunder might not have a chance next season. Because I think
a chance.
Not a chance. Because most of the other teams have older players, because that means they have more time to rethink about, what to do in the situation.
Okay.
So I feel like,
I felt like they rethinked pretty well when they won the title.
Well, well, I still think that...
And they already had those playoff missteps, and they learned from their mistakes, like when they lost the series with the Magic. Or not the Magic, the Mavericks.
The Mavericks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
they have that playoff experience now. Like, they've lost there, and now they've won there.
Yeah.
And when we look at it, I mean, they brought so many people back. Like the J-Dub twins, they got Shea back, they got Chet back. Those are the four, like, big, like, you got to get those guys if you want to repeat it, and they did. And when we're looking at it, I know we can say how ridiculous the West is to sort of say that the Thunder can't make it, but at the end of the day, I think whoever gets out of the West will win it all. And, it's been, I mean, when you look at it, it's been years since the Nuggets got out of there. It feels like someone always nicks them. And then when you look at it, like, the Thunder made it out, and whoever gets out of the East, I feel like, is going to lose. And, I mean, the Thunder are the most proven. They just did it. They know how to do it. They've lost there, and I think they learned from those mistakes this year. And when you're looking at the West as a whole, because the West was pretty stacked this year, and they still ran away with it just fine. And they still swept the Grizzlies, and I think it was great playoff experience for them to narrowly beat the Nuggets, because then they get those tight game experiences and tight series where you really see like the stress, and that you can see how much they improved after they had that dogfight with the Mavericks where they kind of just caved, because the Mavericks have been there before. The Mavericks have been in the playoffs tons of times before that time, especially in the Luka era, where the Thunder just didn't have that experience. As we talk about, they're a young team, but I mean, they're getting a lot of experience. They've been in the playoffs. They've lost in the playoffs. They just made a great run, and they beat a lot of top teams to do it. I mean, even the Timberwolves were so hot, and they gentlemen sweeped them. So, I mean, I have a lot of faith in the Thunder, and I don't think you can say, even if you don't think the Thunder will repeat, I don't think you can say you can be as confident in a team to win it all this year than you can say with the Thunder.
I mean, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know,
Right.
the Timberwolves, they have Anthony Edwards
Mm-hmm.
and Rudy Gobert, DiVincenzo. They're not bad players. Anthony Edwards is a really good player.
Right.
But I think the Timberwolves might have a chance in the finals next season.
Okay.
And I think, based on your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
I think I can see the Timberwolves and the Thunder in the finals next season.
Conference finals.
Well, conference finals, yeah.
Right.
In the conference finals, yeah.
And I feel
don't
like
know.
in this year, that's kind of going to end up being the NBA finals, sort of. 'Cause
It might be, yeah.
I think whoever wins that game will win it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Timberwolves, not bad of a team. I think, with,
Yeah.
they have Rudy Gobert and, Anthony Edwards, not bad of a duo on
Right.
the team, if I do say so myself.
I think the problem
It's
is
kind of like
right.
It's kind of like with the Thunder with Chet Holmgren and I guess Shea. That's a good duo for the Thunder, in my opinion, I guess. But
right.
and not only the Timberwolves, but you got the Nuggets. Jamal Murray and Jokic, not bad of a duo either.
Right.
Not too bad for the Nuggets or the Timberwolves,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I agree. And the way the Nuggets have been rebuilding about Jokic, which we'll get to later, I mean, the Nuggets could be scary. And the Timberwolves, I do like the Timberwolves, but the issue is that we haven't seen them really cap it off and really give us something that really makes us think, yeah, they're going to win, or yeah, they're going to have a great chance. Because we've seen in back-to-back years, they've made it to the conference championship after having a great playoff. I mean, not this past year, but the year before that, they knocked out the Nuggets in the semifinals, who were the reigning champions at that point. I did not think they were coming out of that one. And then they just ended up really messing, I wanted to say something else, but just really falling apart against the Mavs. And then, that's where that experience comes in. So I was thinking this year maybe they could take advantage of the Thunder not having that experience, even though they did also lose to the Mavs, but not in that conference championship setting. So I was really thinking the Timberwolves, even though they weren't as the better team or weren't as good or maybe didn't have much talent, but I thought they would come in and be like, we've been here before, we were just here, and build on those mistakes, and they just didn't, and it was even worse than when they were before. And that's why it's hard to build so much confidence, because I love Anthony Edwards. Like, that team's great. And, they certainly are really great. I mean, they weren't even one of the top seeds, but they upset the Lakers. And then they, even though Curry's Warriors were not higher than them in terms of ranking, I mean, it's never great to see the Warriors in the playoffs, especially as long as Curry's there. I feel like they could always be a threat, But, I mean, I do like the Timberwolves, right? I would say I like the Nuggets more because we've seen them do it. We've seen them be clutch in those situations. And, we saw, they were in the finals against a great Lakers team, and they sweeped them, that Nuggets team. And, there was a lot of, maybe luck that went into that, but, that team's just ridiculous.
And when Jamal Murray hit that game winner over Anthony Davis, that was insane.
Ridiculous.
It was fourth quarter, a couple seconds left.
You remember this.
Jamal Murray against Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was right there, and after Jamal Murray hit that game-winning shot over Anthony Davis, the Nuggets team and the crowd, they're all hyped up. And then Anthony Davis was a part of that, crowd, I guess. Because,
right.
But, and not only that, I think the Nuggets and the Mavericks might have a chance. They have good players, in my opinion. Nuggets got, Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook, and Nikola Jokic. So I think the Nuggets and Mavericks might have a chance.
Yeah, I agree. And, whoever comes out of the East is certainly going to have a chance. But, when you look at the West right now, not only are we saying, we think the Thunder are going to be great, and even if they don't repeat, everyone that they brought back and the fact that they've done it before. And then the Nuggets, the way they're building around Jokic, they've been there. Another MVP on their team. And they're certainly I feel like it's prime to have another Nuggets season like that because, the fact they lost in the playoffs a couple years ago against the Timberwolves was pretty surprising. And then last year's one, they were really in some dogfights because, they went with the Clippers to 7 and then went with the Thunder to 7. They were just getting gassed, I feel like maybe if they end up getting a better seed. Maybe they'll have a better draw and won't have as bad of as just as much drain. Where I felt like that's what really benefited from, if you remember that Nuggets year you were talking about, where the Thunder sweep them, right? And then the Bucks and the Celtics, I believe, were on the other side. And I mean, the Bucks ended up going to like 7, where like the Nuggets were like on vacation for like 12 days, where they really didn't have that this year, where they were just constantly playing games. And I think eventually that wears on you. And that's kind of what helped them, because the Thunder ended up sweeping and getting out of that situation pretty quickly, and they felt like they were more prime. And they had the first 2 at home. So if the Thunder can do better in the regular season to get a better draw, or the Nuggets, excuse me, I feel like the Nuggets, the Timberwolves and the Thunder are certainly up there. But then you even look at like the Clippers, who, even though a lot of their guys are aging and maybe you say they're out of their prime, I mean, Kawhi, Chris Paul, James Harden, Bradley Beal, like that's still an all-star lineup where if those guys are healthy in the playoffs, who knows? And then, I mean, you can even go say the Lakers are still there.
That's a key factor, with LeBron James, he's been in the league forever.
I know.
And, that's the main thing. He needs to, not only focus on his health,
Right.
I mean, with, he's not only him, but Chris Paul as well.
Right.
They got to keep an eye on their health. And, they're, pretty old in the NBA. And, hopefully, they're careful enough. And LeBron, he's a pretty good player. I just think that's his main. I think that's what he should focus on more, is his health.
Right.
Because he's not old, but I think if he at his age, 40, that's pretty old age in the NBA to
right.
But
really big for them to lock in Luka.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
He needs it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Luka would, because LeBron could use Luka.
Right.
Because, it's crazy. And, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And, I mean, for all the reasons that I've kind of mentioned this earlier, I feel like in this wild, wild West that's kind of been set up with how the East has kind of been plagued by injuries, I feel like I'm most confident I'm going to go with the Thunder to come out of that West. And, I mean, whoever comes out of the West, I think will win it all. So, I mean, I guess that's my title champion. Who do you think's coming out of the Wild Wild West for you? Are you saying the Nuggets or Timberwolves?
Well, it's pretty hard to say. Nuggets and Timberwolves. I mean, I don't know. This is a hard decision.
Sounds like you're not picking the Thunder, so
definitely not the Thunder.
All right.
But if I got to go the Nuggets here. I think the Nuggets might have a chance. The Timberwolves might also have a chance, but I think my decision has to be the Nuggets. I mean,
yeah.
I just think the Nuggets have a better chance than the Timberwolves do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. And with the way they built around Jokic, if he can finally get some help, then maybe he won't have to do so much. And hopefully they'll get a better seed, and so overall a better draw, because, I mean, going to 7 games back-to-back definitely weighs on you, and that's probably why they ended up getting eliminated. But, I mean, it's hard to make excuses like that, but it's like, well, I mean, the Thunder did really well, best record in the league, and got, a sweep in their draw. So, I mean, if they have something like that and don't go into that first matchup just already exhausted and already, being so, just battle damaged, where I feel like that could really turn out for the Nuggets. And, I mean, I still like the Thunder, but, I mean, it's hard to put anyone above them with how they, schooled the league in there. I mean, because we're talking about the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. They got around both of them. And I know you can make excuses for the Nuggets, but, the Thunder went to 7 with them. Crazy series. I mean, they were in the depths, just in the trenches in that series, and then went and gentlemen sweep the Timberwolves. So you can even show that they're kind of resilient as well. So, I mean, that's just my take on it, but I still really like the Thunder, and I think it's really so huge that they brought, pretty much everyone back, where I think that's the big thing, too, where even though the Nuggets brought in all those great players, they also lost some as well, where it's is it end up going to work together? How long is it going to take to really get those bonds? And not to say that they won't be good, because I think they will, but when we're talking about the title, everything really needs to click. And we've seen the way the Thunder operate is, so, technical, and the way that everyone knows their role. And, they still have so many draft picks. The fact that Paul George trade happened, the turnaround for them absolutely ridiculous. Where there were even jokes saying that Paul George deserved an honorary ring for setting up that team, and he set up the Pacers too. So I mean, hey, good Chris Paul, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Chris Paul's the MVP.
I mean, you know,
Or Paul George.
Paul George,
What am I?
not Chris
Oh my
Paul.
gosh.
But Paul
Don
George,
Paul's-
I mean, Paul
yeah.
George, he, you know, when he was with the Pacers, he actually helped them get into I think it was the conference finals with, because not only he went against, you know, obviously he went against the good teams back when he was with the Pacers, but he also went against LeBron James when he was on the Heat. And people say, I don't know if I agree with them on this, but people have been saying that LeBron's prime was on the Heat. Now, in my personal opinion, I think LeBron was really well with the Heat. Not too bad. But then when he went with the Cavs, you know, like he won a
That felt like his
championship.
prime.
I
Yeah.
felt like when he was with the Cavs, that was his prime.
Right.
You know, Cavs and Warriors from 2015 to 2018.
Yeah.
That was everybody thought it was not going to end, but you know, with the Warriors winning 2015, and then you know in 2016 the Warriors had a good run. They won about 73 games and lost only 9, so
Yeah.
not bad for the 2016 Warriors. But
Right.
I'm still upset that they lost. But you know, the LeBron and the Cavs came back. I think they were down 0-3, and they
It's
came back
1-3.
1-3. Yeah.
0-3
They-
hasn't happened quite yet.
No, it hasn't. 1-3. They came back 1-3, and you know, but yeah, I think LeBron was in his prime with the Cavs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think part of it has to do with the fact that it was kind of almost a super team on the Heat, where on the Cavs he was really asked to do a lot, and I felt like he really was up to the task, because, I mean, if you look at the Heat, and that's probably why they won more at the end of the day, where, I mean, the fact that LeBron was able to take out one of those Warriors super teams, and was it 2018 where it was just like there was no chance, where he dropped like 50 in the first game, and it didn't matter at all, where like that Warriors team, so ridiculous, but like on the Heat, what did he have, like Dwayne Wade,
Yeah, he had
Ray Allen,
Ray Allen. And, he had. Let's see. He had LeBron. It was like LeBron, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen,
right,
Dwayne Wade.
It's a stacked team, especially
It was
in
a pretty
the
stacked
early
team.
2010s, yeah.
Yeah, early 2010s. You know, they lost to the Mavericks in the finals with Dirk Nowitzki. Mavericks deserved it, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
because
And they split with
the
the
Warriors
Spurs, right?
also had like into the late 2010s, the Warriors had, you know, Curry, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant. They had Sean Livingston, who was a perfect he was all-time greatest mid-range shooter. I think he was the greatest mid-range shooter. He could not miss. But yeah, the Warriors had, you know, Curry, Sean Livingston, Klay Thompson.
I want Iguodala.
I want Iguodala. Iguodala. And then there was one time, it was just in the regular season, where Klay Thompson dropped 37 points in a quarter.
That was
I don't think...
How much did he had a crazy amount in the half, too? I forget what
I'm not sure, but, you know, 37 in a quarter
in
is
one quarter
is a lot of work.
Insane.
And,
I feel like when things happen like that, you can kind of see how Wilt Chamberlain was able to get to 100.
yeah. And, you know, yeah, I mean, you know, the Cavs and the Warriors were stacked back then, but now, I mean, the Cavs are not doing too bad anyway. They have, you know, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, and
Right.
I think they have Garland, Darius Garland. They're not bad players either. I like them. They're not too bad.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe LeBron was going to go to the Cavs. Because, I mean, to go back home like he had done before, right? And then also the fact that team's kind of stacked, where it's like, are they LeBron away from finally breaking out of their second round?
Do you think if LeBron... No, this is for everybody's question here.
Right.
If LeBron went back to the Cavs, could he possibly win another ring at 40?
Yes. And I think the biggest part of this is that he would get out of the West. Because if you're out of the West, the East is unbelievably wide open. Like, we're talking about the Mavs. We're talking about, like, people have been talking about, like, the Wizards, where it's like the East is so wide open. Where, like, Celtics, I don't know how well they might still make the playoffs without Jason Tatum, but I mean, I can't see them going very far. I do like the Magic, but I mean, like, all of a sudden, like, I mean, like, the West is ridiculous. The West is so on fire. It's so ridiculous. Where it's like, and a LeBron and Luka team and Ayton team, like everyone that's there, connect and you know, like, That's a great team. And they're like maybe like the fourth or fifth team we even talk about, where we're just like, yeah, the Timberwolves, the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Clippers, where it's like it takes a minute to even get to them, and even the Mavs might end up being good, which is infuriating because they're really stupid with their decisions. So it's just really unfortunate that they got the number 1 overall pick. Almost like it was just ridiculous that they got that number 1 overall pick, where it almost felt like it was like scripted, and that like they would get rid of Luka for a trade for Cooper Flag. Just really obnoxious, and I mean really ridiculous. And I feel like things like that really should open the league's eyes to change to the NFL's type of way to do the lottery system. Or how about this? Just do a random from the top 5 teams, so that the worst teams are actually getting the best players. It's just really unfortunate, because it's like, if you're a draft number 1 overall, you're like the highly touted, like everyone, you're supposed to be a generational prospect, right? How are you going to a team that's not even in the top 10? That's ludicrous. Like, how are you not going to the Wizards? How are you not going to the Pistons? Or not the Pistons this year, actually. The Pistons kind of got back. My bad. The Hornets, right? Like, how are you going to a team that has Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving? Like, that is ridiculously unfair. You're the number 1 overall pick. You're supposed to turn a franchise around, not try to repair a franchise that's so idiotic. Like, it's just so ridiculous. And I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but, like, really not happy with the Mavs and that they kind of lucked out. Really not okay.
And
with
everyone
that.
obviously knew that the Mavs were going to pick Cooper Flag. I mean,
So
come on.
ridiculous.
They should have, like...
It felt so scripted.
It was definitely scripted.
Because the Luka thing really felt like a publicity stunt to get viewership back at the league. And it worked.
Right. Yeah.
And it was almost like a repayment. Like, all right, you get rid of your generational prospect, who's one of the best players in the league, who scored 73 in a game, who just took you to the finals. It wasn't a few years ago. He just did it to send him away for like a bag of chips. Like, there's no way they didn't already have that number 1 pick locked down. Incredibly ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
And I feel like it's just so unprofessional that the NBA can allow that type of thing. Like, if you really want to have a lottery, you have to reserve it for the top 5 teams.
Yeah.
Because the worst teams, I get that they don't want teams to tank, and maybe that's a problem with the NFL, where they have a problem with tanking, where teams are really trying to get that number 1 pick. So I do understand that. But then at least just give it to the top 5 or something. Because they were in the play-in. Like, they played a game. Like, had they beaten the Grizzlies, they would have been in that series against the Thunder. Like, they were in it. Why are they getting the number 1 overall pick? You know how many teams weren't in a play-in? It's so disgusting and ridiculous. And, just... I've said ridiculous like 20 times, but I mean, it's the most preposterous thing I've ever seen. What do you mean you get the number 1 overall pick? You were just in the finals. You were in the play-in. And you're not one of the worst teams. You have Anthony Davis. You have Kyrie Irving. Why are you getting the best generational prospect in years? People are saying since LeBron. Why do you get that pick?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
That's all I can say.
I know.
It's terrible. I mean...
So, it's so preposterous.
Right.
And, like, the fact that that type of thing is allowed, they were just in the finals.
Literally.
Like they just won the Western Conference Finals. They just came close
Luka.
against... Yeah, with Luka. It's like... It's where things like that happen, where it kind of takes the fun out of the league, where it's like you're not expecting us to buy that just randomly happened, right?
Right.
That they just randomly sent away their generational prospect, who people have predicted that, like, years from now he could be the GOAT. I feel like he's got a slow start, and he's got an uphill battle where he's kind of starting to get some championships if he wants to do that.
Right.
But, I mean, just to be like, yeah, we don't like the guy that has been doing incredible for us every year and has made All-Stars every year. The guy just dragged our team to the conference finals for the first time since Dirk Nowitzki. Yeah, we think he's fat and slow, so we're going to get rid of him. We're going to send him to L.A. for AD. I mean, the fact... Like, Luka. This is Luka Doncic. Like, I love Anthony Davis, but this is Luka. This is your franchise. Oh, my goodness. And the fact that they have a chance to really do great this year is just... It's so dastardly, pukingly, regurgitatingly upsetting.
I agree.
I feel like that's the best way to spell it out. Where it's just like I just wish nothing but misfortune for that franchise. You don't get that lucky off of your own idiocracy. Just absolutely ridiculous. But anyways, we should probably get out of that. And as we're looking at, like, We're looking at Luka, where we're talking about him in the future possibly getting to that GOAT status. But, I mean, we've got a couple of people in this league that are probably at least top 20, where we're looking at Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, LeBron James, where, like, they're really building up their legacies, all guys with 2 or more championships. What do you think these guys need to do to really cement themselves in their legacies? And, I mean, what do you think is left for them, not only in the league, but, I mean, to be eternally remembered?
Well, they have accomplished many things. Curry, it leads the NBA with 3-pointers made, and
right.
You got LeBron, the top
right.
NBA scorer.
Right.
They're just on a grind.
Right.
They gotta keep the grind going. But I think they shouldn't just be focused on basketball sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see Curry out there playing golf. I think that would take, I think that would take his mind off of it.
What, guys can't have fun anymore. Guys can't go play some golf,
right? But I think
I see what you're saying, but
yeah, but I'm saying if they just shouldn't just focus on one thing, they can focus on other things.
Right.
With Curry, his wife, and his kids.
Right.
He should spend more time with them, and same with LeBron and his kids.
Did you just see the video? LeBron and his wife were doing Pilates together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, they should still working on the grind, hitting the lab.
Right.
They're not doing too bad. Curry.
And it's hard to practice too much at that age because you don't want to overextend yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with these guys, who do you think has the most left to prove out of these old heads?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a really tough question, but
I feel like it depends who all you're including.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I feel like you have to go with Chris Paul if we're involving all of them. I love Chris Paul, and he's been such a great point guard and facilitator. It really sucks that he never got a ring, which is I'm kind of gunning for the Clippers this year just for a farewell tour with him, where it's if they were to get it, James Harden would get a ring, Chris Paul would get a ring.
Chris Paul
Kawhi would get his third. Yeah.
No, Kawhi will only get 2. He's only one.
No, Kawhi won with the Raptors and the Spurs.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Know your ball, bro.
Well, yep. Chris Paul has been with, a lot of teams, obviously.
Right.
And, he
it's
was
overrated
with...
at this point, yeah.
He was with, he was with, the Clippers a long time ago with, Blake Griffin and DeAndre
Those are my best
Jordan, I
memories
believe.
of watching him.
Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan were killing it with the Clippers.
I know.
They were insane. And then, let's see. And then, you had that 2016 dunk contest with Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. That was crazy. Best dunk contest, in my opinion.
Right.
But, hopefully, Chris Paul was just with the Spurs with, Wembanyama.
Wembanyama! Rejected by Wembanyama.
But
yeah.
I wish Chris Paul needs to put some more work into it, and I think he would have a chance, maybe slight chance, getting a ring.
Right.
Because, he was with a lot of good players. He was on the Thunder with, Harden, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook, and he still didn't get to the finals and no ring. Same with the Clippers, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan.
And he got snubbed out of his one chance with the Suns, where Giannis was just a freak.
Yeah.
The Bucks weren't even supposed to be in that game. The fact that they got around the big 3 in the Brooklyn Nets, they were down in that series, I think 1-2, and then they were down 1-2 against the Suns. And it's Giannis is just such a great athlete. Where that's where we look back at the Pacers taking out the Bucks, where it's even though the Pacers were the higher seed, you can never really count them out because Giannis is such a freak athlete.
Right. I mean, Giannis, he's a good player. They call him the Greek freak, of course.
Of course.
And I think he's pretty good. He's more of a, I'm gonna say, inside the paint or a dunker kind of guy. But not a bad player. He's
that's an all-star game MVP.
Right. He's not like Dame Lillard when he pulls just from half courts in the All-Star game, but
right.
I think Giannis is a pretty good player. I'd say he's pretty decent.
I think just his ability to elevate teams where it feels like above their station, too, where you look back at that Bucks year, that was before Dame was there. That was, like, Giannis's team, right? And they rallied behind him, and I feel like that's such an elite playoff run where it really felt like that was the Suns' year, and it was Chris Paul's year, and who else did they have on that Suns team? I mean,
they had DeAndre Ayton.
Jordan Clarkson, I think, was there as well.
Yeah, and there was also, with the Bucks, they also had, there was
and
Giannis.
Devin
there was
Booker, too.
Yeah, because back then the Bucks also had, Giannis, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday.
Yeah. Man, Chris Middleton hit a really clutch shot against the Nets. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was great.
Did you see, like, I think it was the Nets and the Bucks, where it was, I think Kevin Durant was on the Nets.
Right. And James Harden.
And James Harden, Kyrie Irving.
I think Blake Griffin was there as well.
I think Blake Griffin was. How was that team so stacked?
I know.
And then, like, bro.
Where does the talent go? And
then Durant hit a clutch shot, but it was a 2, not a 3.
I remember that foot on the line. That's what people were bringing
Durant
up
was even upset with himself, too. And wasn't Durant's mom at the game, too? I think his mom was at the game. That was crazy. But,
it always sucks when the foot's on the line. Like, I remember, you remember LeBron's birthday?
Yeah.
When he shot that and he was freaking out. He's like,
I think that was a clear 3. I think it was clear.
I felt like it was on. It just sucks because you got to be able to see something in between.
Yeah.
That's what sucks.
I feel like that was a 3, and it was on his.
I feel like we got to get better cameras to really.
I agree.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because, like, if we just look at the side, like, if it's so close,
Yeah.
And it's a certain point where it's just like, that's close enough. Or like,
Yeah.
Where it's a lot cooler to have that 3 than just, it's really deep too,
Right, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're certainly gearing up for a great season, I think, and off the heels of a really great playoff run. And, I mean, it feels like it's been a minute before the NBA has been relevant. And sure, I mean, it may have been boosted by, the sham with the Mavs that really, really kind of bothered us, right? Like, not only doing that, not only being that stupid to do it, but the fact that they got rewarded for it, I think is what upsets us the most. But, I mean, going into this next year, I mean, we start looking at the East, and, I mean, with all those Achilles injuries to, unfortunately, Damian Lillard, who's not actually on the Blazers, so he's, he went, and then you look at Tatum, and then you look at Halliburton. I mean, the East really feels like it's up for grabs, and, I mean, whoever gets out of there, I don't know, but they're going to have a chance, and I feel like they really avoid that dogfight that is the West. I mean, in terms of the East, I mean, who do you think gets out of there? Like the Cavs, the Magic? Who do you think's going to find their way out?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, with, the Cavs with Donovan Mitchell, Strus, and all them. And then you got Celtics. I don't know. I mean, there's also, let's see. I don't know about the Heat. The Heat is not doing too good right now.
At this point, anybody has a chance.
I think anybody has a chance. I think even the Pacers might have somewhat of a chance here, but I think just in general, I feel like any team in the East has a chance. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like it really is like the Cavs and the Knicks too, where the Knicks, I mean, they were so stupid.
The Knicks are kind of stacked, in my opinion.
Get rid of Thibodeau was really stupid, and to not have a backup plan, like that was really surprising. But what they were trying to do is they were trying to get, I believe his name's Jay Wright, the Villanova coach. But they have at least 3 Villanova players, so they were trying to bring him in, but he's like, no, I'm not doing that, So that ended up failing, and then they were like 0 for 4, they went up to so many teams like, hey, can I interview your head coach to try to poach him? No one's going to let you do that. Right, so it's like, unless they're trying to fire them, But, I mean, that was so funny. But, I mean...
Yeah, it was, yeah.
At this point, I feel like it's the Cavs and the Knicks, but, I mean, Knicks, we haven't really seen them broke through. I mean, I kind of like the Cavs, especially with Donovan Mitchell, and if they're still really doing good, because I don't even know how they're going to play without Thibodeau or, like, where they're going to be. I think they're still going to be in the playoffs with how wide open the East is, right?
Right.
But, I mean, at this point, I might say I like the Cavs more. What do you think?
Well,
the Knicks is more stacked, but I feel like the Cavs are more built.
It depends because, the Knicks have, Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby, I mean, I'm not really a big Knicks fan or a Cavs fan, but I got to go with the Knicks on this one, if I'm being honest with you. I got to go with the Knicks, yeah.
Yeah?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the Knicks got it.
I think it's possible. And, I mean, you look at the teams that have been in their way over the past years, like whether it's the Celtics and then the past 2 years it's the Pacers. And even though I love the Pacers, they're probably not going to be as much of a factor in this playoffs. They'll probably still end up in there with how wide open it is. But, I feel like they're not going to end up knocking out the Knicks. Where the Cavs, I mean, they've been really good every year, but, like, they get to the playoffs and we haven't really seen that jump that we've been waiting for to really break through. And they really haven't done so since LeBron, where it's like, I think you really look at the East and you're like, man, LeBron should have never left. Because you look at the East, because have you seen the graphic of, like, the Eastern champions for, like, all the years? And then it shows, like, the last 5 and then, like, the before 5. The one, like, last 5 is, like, Halliburton and, Jason Tatum, all those guys. Right. The one before that is just LeBron.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why would you want to go to the tougher conference? And they did get that first ring, but he probably should have left right after that bubble.
Right, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and if he'd gone back to the Cavs, I mean, all of a sudden, like, if the Cavs had LeBron, I think you say they run away with the East right now.
I agree. Yeah, I think if LeBron goes back with the Cavs, the Cavs might have a championship run. I think that they might have a chance with the championship.
Right. I was surprised he didn't jump at the chance this year because, I mean, especially, like, Tatum's going to be back if he waits another year.
Right.
I feel like they might not get around the Celtics if they're at full strength.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, now, like, we look at it and, like, if LeBron were to go there this year, it really feels so wide open. But the window might already be closed if he comes back too late. So, I mean, he can stay at the Lakers. I mean, maybe the Lakers end up coming out of that. I mean, they do have Luka, who they should have never got, but it's great for them that they do. And then DeAndre Ayton. I mean, I don't know if that's going to work out, but it's great that they're trying to build around this team.
I agree.
I mean, it really is a toss-up with this East. But, I mean, out of all the players, I think you legit have to say, do you think in a series, is it the Cavs or the Knicks that come out on top?
Well, it also depends on how they play here.
Right.
But, I feel like the Cavs and the Knicks, they're a solid team. Mm-hmm. But it just in general just depends on how they play.
Right.
But, like I said before, I think the Knicks might come out on top here. I think the Knicks might come out on top.
Right. I'd have to agree. And in the wake of the Thunder winning it, I think it's going to be really interesting who ends up popping out of the East to face whoever gets out of the dogfight that is the West. And as we're looking into this next season, we're having like so many great players: Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, Luka Garza, where it starts to be like, who do you think's really the face of this league as we start to pan out? I mean, if you look at like 2K covers, like MVPs, who's like the most popular, who's really the face of it? Because I feel like we kind of went from Kobe to LeBron to Curry, and if you go like with a classic, like Michael Jordan was the ultimate face, where even when he was gone for several years, everyone was just waiting. Like, I mean, it's really huge to be the face of the league, and I think if we look at certain eras, we can easily go like, oh yeah, that's when Kobe was, oh yeah, it's LeBron, oh yeah, that's Curry. Who do you think that is today?
Today, well, I mean, that's really a hard question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
right.
I mean, I think it could be possibly between Jokic or Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
I mean, I can see them on a cover.
Mm-hmm.
But then, for 2K26, they say that Shai is going to be on the cover because, he's...
Probably in the wake of the title.
Yeah.
Especially.
That's, and, well, I just think it's got to be between Jokic and Anthony Edwards, in my personal opinion.
I'd have to disagree. I think you got to give Shai Gilgeous-Alexander his credit. And with what they've built on the Thunder, I mean, I know he has gotten a lot of help, but, like, the fact that he was playing for the Clippers, like, they got that in a crazy trade with Paul George. Honestly, the way they set up that team, absolute bonkers. And it feels like similar to the Luka trade, but at least that one kind of made sense because no one realized how good Shai was going to be, or any of those guys, any of those draft picks, whatever it is. But, I mean, I really feel like the Thunder have a great chance to repeat, and they have a great coach. And, I mean, if Caruso ends up staying, I mean, they brought just about everyone back. It really feels like, it is the Thunder's kind of thing to lose here, where I feel like, we talking about the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, and the Thunder, so it's fitting that when we're like face of the league, we bring it up, oh, it's Jokic, Edwards, or Shai, so I feel like that parallels pretty well to the best teams, as it, probably should. Where, I mean, we looked at the face of the league where it was Curry and LeBron, and those guys were in the finals, like, every year. So, I mean, I still like Shea, and I think until we get a picture of Edwards holding a finals trophy, I don't think you can say he's the face of it, even though I love Edwards and his dunks are beyond spectacular. And, Jokic, the problem with Jokic is that we really don't see him much. And he doesn't say much, and that's fine. But, I mean, overall, I think, he really loves his horse racing, too.
He definitely does.
This is just the jobs to him. Or, I love the graphic of, it's you just, had, the greatest, you just won the NBA championship, and it shows, Curry, freaking out, Kevin Garnett freaking out, and then it's just Jokic just staring at the plane, and he's like, yeah, we won, so I go home now. It's what? That's all? You just won the finals. That's all you say?
There's got to be more to that.
I know.
I mean,
there's no way that's all it means to you.
And that's your first ring ever.
Right.
You got to show some sort of happiness.
He's literally just thinking, yeah, I'll probably get a raise out of this, so that's good. He's not thinking, it's everyone's just oh my gosh, this is so awesome. He's yeah. Have you seen, him, racing horses? He is so happy. The amount of emotion he shows when his horse wins, and then you look at him at the end of a game. It's just, there's nothing there.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's all I can say. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And, I mean, if he ends up making it back and makes a title run, I think it can happen. But, I mean, I think Shea, especially on the wake of the title and the 2K cover and all the smooth moves he did, and I know it does suck with, the flopping allegations. And I get that concern, but, I mean, I feel like Shea is definitely the face, where I feel like it's really great that we're having a small market team like the Thunder not only do great, but also have all these prying eyes on one of their star players. And I know we can pick and choose and agree to disagree on if he deserved the MVP, but he was still certainly in the running. I think you can say he was certainly top 2, even though if you say Jokic, and I get voter fatigue where you look at him, Jokic has already won several, so I do get it. And you could even look at the NFL where Lamar had won 2, and even though he kind of had better stats, they ended up giving it to Josh Allen. So it's kind of one of those deals, but I was okay with that one because Josh Allen beat Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, which is why I think you can kind of accept this one as well, because Shea went in there and beat Nikola Jokic in the playoffs, where I know they don't take that into account, but I kind of do personally, where I'm if they can roll through them and they can be the better team and they can win that matchup, I don't see anything wrong with them. If Nikola Jokic would have just straight up ran through them, if and he was playing on all cylinders and Shea was playing bad or whatever the deal is, right? And it's the Nuggets that end up winning it all. I would be somewhat off put and very taken aback that Jokic still won it, because I was well, it feels like he was the best player in the league this year, And I feel like that's why we can kind of look back. And I know I get the flopping stuff and I get the hating stuff and I get the what ifs with Halliburton. That really sucks. But I mean, when you look at it, I feel like Shea really is the face of the league, and I feel like we can't just discredit what he did that easily. And as much as I love Jokic, I really feel like it's Shea.
Well, I still feel like it's got to be between Jokic and Anthony Edwards. That's I feel like just
I don't think you're right about that. To not even include Shea in the conversation, I think, is where you lose me.
Ooh.
Where if you say it's between Jokic and Shea, I'm okay, But to not even discredit it, I feel like the loss last season is still kind of lingering for the Pacers.
Right.
Yeah. So I would ask you to leave biases out of this podcast for entertainmental reasons. I'm playing. No, I do get it. And I know a lot of people share those things that aren't Pacers fans or whatever it is. But I mean, they went in there and they did beat the Nuggets, and they had a great playoff run, and they did end up winning the MVP. And he was the first one to win MVP.
Wasn't he
the
the
NBA
youngest?
Yeah. Well, there's only it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that had done it, where it was only 4 guys or whatever it was, where it was scoring title, I think, and then the season MVP, the finals, and then the finals MVP, and only there were only a few guys that had ever done that. So
right.
I was So I feel like we certainly need to give credit as due, and I know we can be haters, and I know there were LeBron haters for years and Curry haters that you probably for years were saying hey, you guys really got to open up and not just let your biases cloud your judgment. This guy's legit. Where I feel like that's kind of the same case here, where I feel like we really need to appreciate the greatness that is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, even though the thing with Halliburton does suck with the injury, or the flopping, it does suck. But I mean, if you look at the stats, it's not that crazy. It's just it does suck. And I mean, we talk about officiating. It feels, it sucks to blame it, but then it also sucks to, not pretend that it's not a factor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to act like it's not a factor at all, like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying, like, I really do think Shea's the face of the league, and the flop, like, all that stuff does suck. And the fact that the Pacers felt like they didn't leave it all out on the court with the injury, like, that all does suck.
Yeah.
But I still feel like, all in all, I mean, it's been years since Jokic won it. No one's done all of these things in one season like Shea just did. And Anthony Edwards is great, and the fact that he made it to the finals 2 years in a row is great, but each one of those times he's gotten blown out by, it was the Mavs, and now it's the Thunder, where I feel like you have to give credit where credit is due and say Shea really is the face of this league.
Well, once again, I still disagree.
Okay,
but
would you include him in the conversation now, though?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's a huge maybe for me, but
Okay.
I mean, I'm still trying to figure out who I might include Shea in this topic
Right.
here. But I don't know. I still got time to think about it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I
It'll
guess it
probably
just
takes-
depends.
Yeah,
It'll
take
take time.
to
Yeah.
heal to really get over that loss, too.
Yeah.
I get it, because I feel the same way. Like, I wouldn't have been saying this the night that they won. Yeah.
Right. Of course.
You know, I mean, all in all, like, everything that the Thunder have done, I think needs to be appreciated. The fact that everything that Shea did in one season, and the fact that it's only been done a few times, I think that is greatness. And the fact that, like, that's, like, never, like, when we're going back to, like, yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did this way back when, like, that's really really cool that happened. I think Michael Jordan might have been in it as well, but I mean, Michael Jordan, you know, he's in, you know, eliteness. I'm not saying he's at those guys' level. I'm not trying to say he's a GOAT or anything.
Right,
He's still
yeah.
very young in his career, and it's possible they build a dynasty off of this. But I mean, I'm just saying, at this current state in the league, where LeBron's kind of getting older, even though he's still great, Curry's kind of getting older, even though he's still great. I mean, when you look at these young guys and who can really have prolonged success, I mean, I really do like Shea. And the fact that they're going into this season with that title repeat, and maybe they won't repeat, but the fact that they'll be known as the reigning champions, like this whole season, I feel like that kind of solidifies him as the face of the league and kind of them as the team to watch. Because I mean, they just did that. Like, they run the league now, and it's really going to be like everyone's going to be going at them. Where it's like you're going at the king, you better not miss. Where that's what it is.
Right.
And regardless of what you think about Shea, regardless of what you think about the team, they won it all.
Right.
And they got out of that Wild West last year. So, I mean, I think you at least have to have him in your top two of, like, face of the league because, I mean, he deserves it, and that team deserves it.
Oh, I mean, there's nothing really much I can say about that, but,
Right.
I mean,
I do see what you're saying, though.
yeah, there's a lot.
Because I'm not trying to say... Because Jokic and Edwards are ridiculous athletes, Yeah. And we can even say Giannis. I mean, I know it's been a minute since we've seen a great season. He might not even be in Milwaukee this season. They've kind of been poorly building around him, very poorly.
Yeah, there's a lot.
They did bring in Dame, but then they just got rid of him, where it's like... I know he wouldn't play for a while, but I feel like Giannis is starting to get fed up.
I agree. Yeah.
And
Who
I wouldn't
be fed up?
I know.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves, but I mean, that's a guy that dragged the team to the titles, even though it's been a while. I mean, the fact that any guy who's won it all is certainly impressive, right?
I agree.
I mean, but I feel like in this day and age, after what they've done and the high that they're on right now, like, I mean, this whole offseason, everyone's going to be thinking about the Thunder.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe in a negative way, right? And that's to be expected. I mean, when you win, that's just how it goes, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it just sucks that both teams had never been in the finals. And not that it sucks, but I think it ends up being like they had never won before. Like, it sucks that they got hated this way when it's not like a Patriots situation. It's not like a Warriors situation. This isn't like a dynasty that went in there and just, took out a team that's never been there, where it's like they've both never been there. Where they just got a tough draw with who the public wants to root for. Where if they were against the Lakers, or, I mean, I know it's not the same conference, but you know what I mean. Or if they were against the Celtics, who had just won, then we would have really been rooting, and like you would even maybe be like supporting the Thunder now if it was the Celtics, if it was the Celtics Thunder,
Yeah.
like,
Because I'm not really a big Celtics fan either.
Yeah.
So.
And it's just a tough draw, and with them would have being their repeating champions, like, that's just a tough draw, and you can see why people can hate them, and it's just a tough draw for their very first championship to have it be at the hands of that. Where we talk about, like, the Pacers, like, yeah, I really wanted to get one, or yeah, they really, it felt like their window, but the Thunder had never won it either. So I feel like it's just tough to hate on either team, because, I mean, they're both, getting their foot in the door. And even though it does suck, because it feels like the Thunder are only going to have more champions to come, where it's like maybe that was the only chance for the Pacers. But, I mean, I feel like the Thunder are definitely at the top of the game. And even if they're not the best team, I mean, they just won it all. So I feel like you give credit where credit is due. And everything that Shea did, all the accolades that he had, and the fact that it's in such of a limited club of people that did it, I just think personally that Shea's the face of the league. And you can disagree. And, maybe like Edwards with Minnesota is a bigger market, or, whatever it may be. And maybe people are probably going to still say LeBron because of all the memes.
Of course.
And just everything. I mean, people are always going to love LeBron as long as he's playing.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Even if we're looking at the young guys, I mean, in terms of, like, popularity, everyone still loves LeBron. Like, I mean, if you ask people who don't know anything about basketball, like, I've asked people, they're like, can you name one player? And they're like, yeah, LeBron.
LeBron James, yeah.
And that's all they know.
Right.
Where it's like, maybe he is still the face just because, I mean, these guys aren't as popular yet, but they're getting their foot in the door.
Yeah.
And I think let's take a step back and less like a debate and just appreciate how much young talent we have in this league, and appreciate the European initiative in getting these guys over to play, and so we could have guys like Jokic. Is Porzingis as well?
I think Porzingis.
Yeah. And then
Doncic.
Yeah. And then Wembanyama from France.
Yeah.
I think we really just should appreciate how much young guys we have, and how much young talent, where it really feels like the league is
Holmgren as well.
Yeah, right. And even though we have like LeBron, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, and Stephen Curry kind of on their way out, where I think it's safe to say that the league's kind of in good hands, where it's not going to be quite the same, especially with the one we grow up with.
Right.
But, I mean, this league, I think, has a bright future. And we can argue about face of the league all day, but the fact that we have this many guys in that running, I mean, shows that the league has a really great future. And I think I'm really optimistic for this next NBA season, Rylee.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right, well, this has been a great episode. I've had a lot of fun talking to you, and finally having you on. I feel like we've been trying to get this episode made for a while.
It's an honor. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but I'm really glad to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I was really excited for this one because we're really in the know about basketball, and especially you. I mean, you're playing basketball all the time.
Oh, of course.
And I mean, maybe you don't always beat me one-on-one, but you...
Well...
I mean, you certainly shoot a lot better. I can't shoot. I get a lucky one here and there, but no, you're great. And like when we're on 2-on-2s, I appreciate having you on the team.
Oh, of course. I appreciate you having me on my team. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show,
Well,
Rylee.
thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor.
Of course. All right. Well, this has been the Ben Buzz starring Benny King. Thanks for tuning in.